What are the top questions that we keep getting regarding this LIV PGA Tour joint venture deal? And we're going to deal with those this week. And question number one we're going to take today is LIV going away? Will they survive? And the answer, and when you stack up all the facts and really logic of what's out there, the answer is no, they're not going away. LIV will be the same as it is today, only better. Another episode upcoming as to why this deal really helps LIV as a golf product, and it really does. But it helps the PGA Tour as well. It's another reason they're not going away. So what's the key reason, or fact number one, why LIV isn't going away? Well, it's in the announcement. the announcement the PGA Tour put out day one, June 6th, announcing this whole thing. Go read it on their website. You have to go to the PGAtour.com to get it. Don't look at the reporting. Read the actual press release. Let's call it that. And there's three key elements that we'll zero in on for you right here. Number one, it says in the announcement that the PGA Tour will retain administrative oversight of its tournaments. PGA Tour will do that. And the other two tours involved in this deal, DP World Tour and LIV, will also retain administrative oversight of their tournaments. Says so right in the deal. Okay, fact number two. The board of directors of the new entity will control all commercial operations of the entity. Okay, fine. We've probably heard that. And that Jay will be on the board. Probably not anymore. But that Ed and Jimmy will be on the board. Ed Hurley, Jimmy Dunn, and Yasser Al-Rumayyan will be on the board, as well as others. Well, in the announcement, it goes out of its way to say that the other two tours, in addition to the PGA Tour, will be represented as well on the board of the new entity. It says that right in the announcement towards the bottom. But let's remember, let's take a second. Every word in the announcement is carefully crafted to be there. Well, as carefully as they're going to do it. And maybe we would do it differently, or maybe you would do it better, differently. But the words that are in there have been scrutinized by a team of people over and over again for multiple business days or a week to see, to get the exact message out that they want to put out. So none of these things in there are random. So look at them carefully. So we have the announcement that says all the entities will remain administrative oversight of their events. Fine. The board will run everything. Fine. And that all the tours will be represented on the board. Okay, those are three pretty important elements that all spell LIV isn't going anywhere. Okay, point number two. PIF, the Saudi Arabian Private Investment Fund, has already put, pick a number, $1 billion into LIV Golf. That's a lot of money. And if LIV were to be shut down, and the PIF would have to go along with that, they'd be walking away from $1 billion. Well, why would they do that? What they've invested in hasn't failed. Quite the contrary. It's gotten off the ground, and it's done very well for a startup. In the first year and a half now, they've already gone through a season and a half, and their events are now running. Their events seem to be working. They're doing, some are better than others as far as attendance goes. All the things that they want to get going are going, and they've sunk a lot of money into doing that, not the least of which was attracting these marquee players to go play there. But in addition to that, in addition to not wanting to walk away from their $1 billion that they've already put into LIV, the model's working, as I just mentioned. It's working. Adelaide was a terrific event. Valderrama coming up this week is going to be a terrific event. So they're saying that well attended. We believe that. So the global elements of this are working very nicely. The PGA Tour brand globally is nothing to write home about at all. So why wouldn't LIV just keep going in the direction it's going with global events at least? And they'll run events in the U.S. as well. But that's another thing that's working. So the model is working. What else in the model is working? Another point. This is point number 4 as to why LIV is not going away. The recruiting of more players, younger players out of college or out of amateur or out of minor league pro tours is working. They're scouring the world, so to speak, for the best players to get onto LIV, and they've introduced a new model where they'll take certain players off the tour if they don't play well enough, and they'll add new ones. And that's going to happen. So they're tweaking the model as to who gets to play in the 48 spots on LIV and the teams, etc. But the recruiting element is already in place. I'm sure they're still working on it, but that's also something they've developed. Okay, point number 5 ties into recruiting. PIF, in addition to LIV and all the billion they put in there, invested $200 million in the Asian Tour. They'd have to presumably walk away from most of that if they're going to close down LIV, because Asian Tour and LIV investments were sort of done in tandem. And Asia is a growth market, big-time growth market for the world's economy, but golf in particular, because the Western Gulf countries are aging, and Asia and the Pac Rim is where there's more young people. So it makes sense to invest in that if you believe in global pro golf. So another $200 million they'd have to more or less walk away from if they shut down LIV. We don't see that happening for those 5 reasons so far. Reason number 6. What's to be gained by shutting down LIV? If you take the emotion out of it, you PGA Tour fans, diehard fans, let's say, and we're all fans of pro golf, so we're all fans of the PGA Tour. We wish it would get its act together in the last year and a half, but who gains by shutting down LIV? Nobody. I mean, yeah, sure. Go ahead and argue with us. Comment. Be nice. Comment. We'll debate with you. Absolutely. We love that part. And nobody has the market cornered on good ideas. But we don't see anybody gaining by closing down LIV. Okay, why? Well, we'll go to the simplistic restaurant model. So here in the United States, we say, well, everywhere you see a McDonald's, you see a Burger King, or everywhere you see a McDonald's, you see an Arby's or another fast food place. Why? And it's true. Why? Well, there's an economic principle at work there, and that's the collective advantage to create a market. So if you're going to have a market of automotive service centers or a market of restaurants or a market of entertainment venues, even though each one of those individual businesses may be a competitor, they benefit by creating a mass. They create a scale. So it's an economy of scale by having everybody in one area that the customers can go, oh, well, if we feel like a hamburger, we can go there and get a hamburger. But if you want a chicken or you want pizza or you want tacos, it's all there. So let's go there and we'll all eat. Well, everybody benefits. So this economy of scale is a big deal for sports in the sense that if you can create an energy around what you're doing, more fans will be attracted. And in golf, you have the PGA Tour all by itself. Well, that's not as interesting as having a rival. LIV is a rival. Great. That creates a market. That creates an energy. It creates intrigue and interest. And doesn't pro golf need that? Yes, it sure does, because as we've said in multiple episodes before, the enemy of pro golf is lack of interest. Simply the hardcore fans, you guys that are watching this for the most part, that audience is getting older, and the young people just aren't there to replace them, and that's a challenge. And LIV's going after that in their own way with music and other things that a lot of the traditional fans don't like. But how do you create a younger market? And that's not an easy formula. There's no real easy answer there for golf. We'll see. But certainly LIV helps in that department. So other than taking revenge maybe on some players you're angry at, Phil Mickelson on down the line, nobody benefits from LIV going away, especially the PGA Tour. They need LIV. Not only do they need LIV's money or PIF's money, they need the rival. They need the energy. They need something to be different and new and interesting about the sport. So for all those reasons, 1 through 6, there are others, we're sure. Chime in, comment, let us know what you think. But for all those reasons, LIV is not going anywhere. LIV is going to thrive. We think LIV is on the rise with this deal. Helps them big time. We'll get into that in another episode. That's interesting as to why their ship just continues to set sail, so to speak. But it's all good. We'll get Dark Stark back on here. Until then, B-Team is out. We don't charge for our videos. We don't tease you with some of the information and then make you go somewhere else and buy the good stuff. We want to help. So we just give it all to you right here. And if you'd like to maybe give us $1 or $2, that would be awesome. We're on Venmo. It's super easy. Just hit us up there, connect, and whatever you want to do. We love it. We appreciate it.